All right, man, welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. My guest today is Barstool CEO Erika. Erika, how are you?
Hi, Eddie. I'm good. How you doing?
Erika, I'm happy to have you. I don't know how I've done, I think 900 and something episodes of this show, and I've never had you on.
This is probably like the jump the shark moment.
No, because honestly, I've had so many people from like the third floor, we'll call it, marketing.
Oh, you've had a lot of third floor people?
I've had a lot, like especially in the early inception of the show in like 2019 and 2020 and whatnot. And I've just, for whatever reason, I've just never had you on.
Wow.
So
maybe you don't like me.
No, that's not the case, Erika. You know that. That's not the case.
Who was your favorite third floor guest?
I'm trying to think. I've had a bunch of them. You know, I've had MB. MB was great.
Okay.
I had a great conversation with Hank. We talked about some old days. We talked about the Ascension and everything like that. They're all great.
Do you like corporate Hank better or pre-corporate Hank?
I mean, the whole story of Hank is great.
Yeah,
you know,
Hank
you can't like
story.
pick and choose one spot. So it's all good, I think, with Hank. But so thank you for making the time. First and foremost, I'm happy you did.
I was telling Eddie that there's very few people I get up at 5 a.m. for, and Eddie's one of them.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
I was like, I will fly in early for that.
I know, and that's what I said, because when I was making the schedule, I was like, all right, I know this is going to be tough, because you don't come to Chicago often. I think this is the first time you've been out here since...
Yeah, for a while.
Since years.
Maybe since the pandemic, actually.
Since years.
Sad.
Or at least since, we've been looking at bar spaces and whatnot.
No, you're right. I did come to see the bars. Mm-hmm. But I've never been in this office.
This office, yeah. Hey, before we really get going here, I do want to talk about the Game Time app. You guys know the drill already. Game Time is the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. It's created by fans. It's for fans. Game Time is a ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. If you haven't given Game Time a shot yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. You guys are going to love this app. We've had tons of Barstool fans using it. They're hitting us up on social about the great deals they're getting. We went to week 1. We saw the Bears and the Niners in that monsoon. It was great. Game Time hooked us up. Also went to Elton John. That was also a great time. Like I said, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go see some stand-up comedy. I know I had some people hit me up. They saw Bill Burr was in town last weekend. It's just a great app, no matter what it is, show, concert, event, sporting. I think I'm, like I said the other day, I'm going to go check out that Bears-Packers game, I think. So just make sure you're working Game Time. Not even working into the rotation. Make sure it is the primary focus in your ticketing experience rotation, okay? Make sure it's the number one in that roulette, okay? So go over there, download the Game Time app, go to the account tab, create a login, and redeem code DOGWALK for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Download Game Time, last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Okay. So this is the end of year 6, is that right?
The end of year 6.
How we feeling?
I mean, it's like in dog years. That's like 700 years.
Yeah.
I feel good. It's it's always a crazy time here, but it's a different year, you know, like we have the Penn thing is kind of looming and coming up, and Dave's in Miami, and you guys are going to be huge here. And so it's a lot of change. Yeah.
So like when you get asked questions like that, do you always feel a certain way to answer a certain way, or like is there ever a part in the back of your head where like, oh my God, there's shareholders and there's this and that now?
Yeah, a little. I mean, it's funny. I have like a coach, and the coach is like, you're grieving. The coach is like, you have the SADS. And I was like, why do you think? And he's like, you're taking out your frustration on everyone. And I was like, that sounds so terrible. Gaz called me ornery yesterday. Ornery is a terrible word. But I do miss the old days, you know what I mean? And when it was just us, and it was kind of small, and you could have your hands on everything, and there was so much to learn and so much to do, and it was also so much simpler, you know? And now it's just big, like it's, which is awesome in its own right. Like we accomplished so much, and we're still accomplishing so much. When I get asked that question, I think about it a little bit of like, all right, who cares about how I answer this and how would they want me to answer it? But I also want to be on, like, I think the nice thing here is that people are pretty honest about how things are.
Well, that's the weird thing, right? Where it's like, we are so embedded in our authenticity,
Yep.
where that's what makes us us.
Yep.
But at the same time, you never want to hear a CEO of a publicly traded company be like, honestly, I feel like
This is a shit show.
Yeah, yes,
This
exactly.
sucks.
So that's
Which
what
is like kind of like I was saying to Eddie before we got on, like I walk in here and it's like somebody's trashed the New York office. And it was like, I'd like to be like Dave and I are talking about like strategy. We're more like, did Tico trash the office? Who was there at 3 a.m.? Like, who's saying this? Do we have the tape? Like, which I love about Barstool Sports because that's the same fucking conversation Dave and I were having in like 2016.
Yeah.
So like some things, the more things change, the more things stay
with
the same.
YP having after
YP,
parties.
remember YP had the after party, and then the Yankees guys, the cleaning lady didn't show up because it was Columbus Day or something, and the Yankees guys trashed the office. I mean, we have a long, Dave and I were reminiscing this morning of like, we have a long history of people behaving badly at the office.
Yeah, the more things change, the more they stay the
That's
same.
right.
But that's so fascinating, right? How you are probably the only person in that position who can't fully say how they feel.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Because it's like, who's listening?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Who cares? So
Now,
yeah, like, and also I want to. I think one weird thing in my job is like it's how I feel, but then it's like the role. Do you know what I mean? Like people want to feel supported. They want to know what they're doing matters.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be like, "Ooh, we invested that thing. It's super well run. It seems like it's going great." So it's that there's a little difference with that too.
And is that do you find that hard too, to be like, I don't want to come off inauthentic, like I want to be myself, but
Yeah, I think I'm pretty honest about it. I love this place. Like I love this place. I love my job. And I feel so lucky, and I think we have like pound for pound like the best people on the planet. We have an awesome company. Now that said, like I'm trying, the thing that's hardest for me is not answering the question. It's like, oh God, like we're dealing with like a big corporate entity and I have to be well behaved. Like that can be hard for me because I'm so used to 6 years later how we do things here, which is like fast and shorthand and over text message and kind of blunt. And if somebody asks you a stupid question, you're like, why the fuck are you asking me a stupid question? Now I have to be like, okay, let me take you through how we got to this, you know? That's a little bit harder for me. That's a little bit harder for me.
Was there like a moment that you were like, oh shit, I can't do
I'm
this
like
anymore?
working on that.
Really?
Because it's like this place is such a pirate ship of like, we just did everything our own way, and we never asked for permission, and we never really told anyone ever what we were going to do. So like the Chernin guys were so cool like that, you know what I mean? Where they were like, like they had, I think, such low expectations of us that everything felt good. Or positive. And then I also think we were doing great work, and I think we do still do great work. But it's hard, you know, because you want to build bridges. Like I'm like, all right, I'm an ambassador from the pirate ship that's over in like the mainland.
Yeah.
And that requires like, you got to look like them. You got to look the part. You got to talk the part. You got to do the right things.
Now, was that the pen people? Like kind of like we're like, hey,
it's like everybody, like the advertisers and the pen people, and you know when we go talk to Walmart or big it's big companies, like they want what we have. They want this audience. They want the talent. They want that authenticity. We're not going to get bigger unless we can figure out a way to share what we do with people who do things totally differently. But
I guess one of my main questions is that how do we stay us though?
Because have to stay us.
That's so a big thing is too. We're hiring a lot of people.
Yep.
We hired a lot of people upstairs, right? What was
a lot of people upstairs?
What was it, like 150 people?
100 people by July of this year. There was an ask on 2 Mondays ago for 100 more people, which we are not going to be hiring.
100 more people
this quarter.
Who asks?
Fucking everyone. Like they just trot down, and the problem is I'm nice about it or an idiot depending, where like Chase will trot into my office and be like, I need 8 more heads, here's why. And then you know Alex will come in, and then Berger comes in, it's like rope, I need more salespeople, and I'm like, all right, like, and then it's 100, next thing you know it's 100 people. We can't do things that way.
But if there's a situation where we hire, you know, we got this person from Bleacher Report. We got this person from Vox. We got this person from here. At what point is it, well, this is great. We got this person from here. At what point are we becoming those people and 100%. Not becoming Barstool?
Huge concern.
Yeah.
Huge. I worry about that all the time.
Yeah.
We have to stay Barstool. How would you keep us Barstool?
You know, it's a good question. And that's why I ask. Yeah. Because when it comes to the third floor, and I think promoting from within, you know, like you said,
totally. The Hank of it all is the perfect example. How do you stay Barstool? Exactly,
for sure. And you know, I don't pretend to know. And I think that's a good thing that we do, is kind of let people do their own thing, and not kind of micromanage that. Definitely. And almost to a fault at times, right? And we're honest about that as well. But I think the Hanks of the world's help in that aspect.
I agree. I think that we have to do things that don't make sense. Like, I think that the weirdness of Barstool, you know, Barstool's really weird. There's just a lot of characters here. You know, like, it's so funny, like this will be dated by the time it comes out, but like this morning, like somebody trashed the podcast studio and, you know, they had people here all night. Like, on one hand, I'm annoyed. It's disrespectful. It's annoying to everybody else to have to clean up people's mess. But on the other hand, I'm like, that can only happen at Barstool Sports. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, do I hate it? I don't love it, but it's also like, I don't agree with trashing the office. I don't agree with making the office your apartment. But if being honest, there's been somebody sleeping on my couch every year since I've worked here, you know? So I agree with you. I think promoting from within is really important. I think staying weird is very important. I think we have to have a really big identity. You know, the thing I don't like is we've gotten so much bigger that it's just getting slower. There's like, and I haven't done as good of a job of this as I could, I think, which is, it was so small in the beginning that it was really easy to do things because it was very clear and we didn't have enough people, right? Like, there weren't enough people. And so everybody was working really hard. They were really focused, but it was very clear who does what. And then as we've gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're hiring people from bigger and bigger places, they're like, oh, you need 5 people to do this one thing. Like, and I don't like that. So we got to change that. That's like, are you following the Elon Musk Twitter thing? Yeah. Okay, I'm obsessed with it. So, and whether you like Elon Musk or hate Elon Musk doesn't really matter. But like, Elon, did you hear about the homepage test?
No, what was that?
Okay. So Elon Musk is like, hey, he gave a project, I guess, to a bunch of people who work at Twitter. And then he gave it to like his rocket engineers or whatever. And he was like, hey, one of the issues that Twitter has is you never really move beyond your feed. Right? You never move beyond who you follow. And then there's so many tweets, you really can't even get through everyone you follow, right? So it's very narrow. And he's trying to get people to discover more on Twitter, right? So you want to see more conversations, more things happening. So the whole concept was, if you're not logged into Twitter, you should see everything happening on Twitter. You should see like a news page of a discover page, right? Like you would have in TikTok. Yeah. You would have a page like you would find in other social media. He gave that to a bunch of people. In 24 hours, they did it. And everyone at Twitter was like, if Musk wasn't here, that would have taken us like 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks.
His people did it? The Rocket people did it? Or
I don't know who did it, okay. But like the competition, the pressure, the urgency, the focus, like did something in 24 hours. Oh, really? That the like corporate Twitter people were like, oh, that's impossible. Or that takes like 6 weeks. Yeah. I don't want to be like those people.
Yeah. But he got it done.
So I'm like, we need a little of that around here, you know?
That spice, yeah. No, I hear you. And now, so what is it for that? And it's hard to stay at the top, right? Like they say, like it's easy to win the first championship. Yeah. But to like, you know, I always like Gino Ariema, like winning all those championships with UConn. Like, doesn't he get bored? Like, at what point, like you've accomplished so much here. Like, are you kind of like, are you bored at all?
No, I'm not bored. The thing I miss is how urgent it was in the beginning, even through like 2019. Like, we really didn't, like, in the beginning I was worried about payroll. Like, I didn't know if we had enough money to pay people. And then I was worried about, like, we had 6 guys to a desk and like we had no space, and I was worried about how we're going to fit everyone. Like, could we afford a new office floor? Like, I like to build things. I think I miss the like precariousness of like the early days of Barstool. Like, we were trying Facebook Live. We didn't know if it would work or not. We were, trying to have everybody in New York. We weren't sure if it was going to, we didn't know if anything would work. And now we have this luxury and this curse of like, we know how to make it work.
Yeah.
And it's like managing versus building. So I'm not bored, but I'm trying to get different skills, I guess. Like, it's kind of back to my old life, which I left to do Barstool, which is just more like big companies, a lot of people, management, not building, which I'm trying to navigate.
But it's safe to say you prefer building over managing?
I love to build, but I still think there's a lot to build here, which is why like I'm fired up about Chicago.
Okay.
Like, that to me is like building something from scratch. Like, we've got super talented people. We've got, we know you guys want a basketball court. Dan wants to make the Midwest his kingdom. I want to make that happen. Like, that's building.
Yeah.
I think $1 million, that's building.
Yeah. Because it's like, I feel we've accomplished so much at this company where so many things happen, and it's like, they would have been such a huge deal years ago, but now it's just like, hey, we expect that.
Do you think that I got some feedback yesterday that I don't congratulate people enough, that I don't say good job enough? Do you think we don't do that? Like, do you get enough petting?
I don't know. Like, but I don't know. It's just kind of the way this place is.
I know, that's what I think too.
No, I don't necessarily like.
Wouldn't you feel weird if I was like, "Hey, Eddie, great job"?
No, I don't know. Like, I've never sat there and been like, "Oh, like I wish Erika told me." Like, I don't sit there. I don't sit there and think like, "Oh, I need more feedback from Erika," because I don't view you in that role. Like, I view you as like, you're more like third floor person. Like, that's your, with those people,
Oh, really?
I think so.
How would you describe the third floor?
Right?
When you talk about the third floor on this show, how do you talk about the third floor?
The third floor is the suits, It's
the suits, okay.
It's a bunch of people in their quarter zips, and they're they got their AirPods in, and they're hogging the meeting rooms, and they got their they got their decks pulled up, and they're nice people.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with them, but they're just wheeling and dealing up
What's
there.
one thing you would wish the third floor people would do differently?
Nothing. I truthfully, I don't have any, and I'm also not there, so I'm not in any position to.
What do you think the third floor
anything
people
wrong
wish
with
from
them.
the talent people?
What the third floor people wish from the talent people? That's a good question. I don't know.
Just think
Do
about
you
it.
know?
No.
You probably know.
I mean, I think they want a lot of things.
I'm sure they want a lot of things. I'm sure. And I'm sure a lot of people on the second floor want people from the third floor. I think, I'll say this.
Okay.
I would say this for as far as talent for the third floor. I think there's definitely, and this might be unfair, and you tell me this or not.
Okay.
I think there may be, and I'm sorry to the third floor if this is untrue, but there may be a connotation where it's like, hey, like, we're just going to go out there and we're going to sell like Dave and Part of My Take, and like and then everything else just like kind of goes to the wayside a little bit.
Okay, that's the talent perception.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
A little, like, tiny bit, which is like understood. Like, those are the horses. You know what I mean? That's paving the way for this company. That's the breadwinner, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
But I could like that. Maybe there is that perception a little bit.
I don't think that's a bad I don't think it's a misperception.
Yeah.
I think they do sell more than those two guys and shows, but our revenue is too concentrated on too few shows.
Okay.
So the perception is right. Like, it's too concentrated. And then the second thing is like, we need to specialize. So like, have you met Berger yet?
I have.
Okay.
I have. Yeah.
What do you think of Berger?
Nice guy. He was here. Nice guy.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
But he's trying to specialize in like, who sells all the shows that are about entertainment and women? Who sells $1 million worth of game? Who sells sports? Which I also think will help us. I think sometimes we just sell across like a whole bunch of shows. We like spread everything out like peanut butter, which kind of sucks. So we'll get better at that.
Yeah. And that's like, and like I said, I don't know. I'm just saying that's like.
No, I don't think that's a bad perception. I don't think they would fight that either.
No, because you know what I mean. It's like it goes to these meetings, and it's like the same four brands. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, it's like
Yeah, who do we got? Mattress Firm, Chevy.
yeah, and then it's like, all right,
Ridge
it's
Wallet.
like,
Are you getting Ridge Wallet?
oh, I don't know about that. I haven't heard.
Who
Ridge
else
Wallet.
you get? You have BetterHelp?
I have BetterHelp. BetterHelp advertises for Dog Walk.
Great.
Game Time.
Great. Game Time.
Miller Lite.
Miller Lite. Great.
JP Graziano.
Shout out.
Big one. First one ever. Who else are some big ones, Harry? Roman.
We had Roback for the first time.
Roback.
Yeah, Roback's great.
Roman.
Innovative. Yeah, we got a bunch of good ones.
That's good.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting.
How are you feeling about that? Like your world's going to change here. How are you guys feeling about that?
I think it's interesting, Erika. I think it's great in a lot of ways, but I think we're going to have to find our spot too, because in a way we're going to kind of get our brand cut from underneath us.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like we're no longer the Chicago guys, because Barstool Chicago is just going to become Barstool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Like how, and I'm interested to see how the accounts are going to work. Like I assume like Barstool Sports, like a lot of that stuff, like we're going to be posted on the main YouTube and the main account. Yeah. Right? Like that's not like.
Yeah, you're funny. It's you and I are
Right?
kind of going through similar things because it's like an invasion is coming.
Yeah.
And something way bigger is coming along.
Yeah.
And you're like, what about my little thing? Not that it's so little, but yeah, look, I think like if you think New York is going to be comedy and Chicago is going to be sports and kind of the wackiness, and LA becomes more entertainment-ish, like all of that is Barstool, you know? But I know what you mean, because it's like Barstool Chicago.
Yes, like we're the Chicago guys. Like, hey, the Chicago guys are in the office.
Yeah, you're not.
Hey, Chicago guys, yell at us if you need something.
I think you're still going to be the Chicago guys. Would you
think
say?
so?
I do.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know though. It's like everybody lives here.
How are you for thinking about, like, are you going to assimilate? Are you going to keep your own thing? Like,
Oh, no, I think we're welcome. Like we've been, you know, we're definitely welcoming more people, and we're looking to do different things, because it's now like we've talked, like it's just we're all tied together and we just do so much content together, and we're definitely looking to branch off.
it'll be great for you to have other people to play
for
with.
sure.
It'll be great for you to have other
for
people.
sure. And that's not like we're not going to do anything together anymore, but it's just good to branch out.
Definitely.
And do different things.
It gets a little claustrophobic when
For
there's
sure.
only a couple of you.
100% does. 100% does, because it just a lot of the stuff becomes the same.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And then you're like, ugh, Carl.
Yes.
Like, what are we doing
It just
now? You
becomes
know
the
what I
same.
mean?
Yeah.
But it'll be good. It's like a new energy, and
Exactly.
there's a lot of weirdos coming this way.
Yes. Which is awesome.
I think it'll be great.
So yeah, it's all such a net positive, and then like especially.
But it's different. It's different.
It's different.
So do you feel like you're supposed to have like the right answer about the future of Barstool Chicago?
No, I don't think there is a right answer.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think so at all. It's like, but like I know fucking it's a positive to have Dan Katz back in Chicago.
100%.
Like 1,000%.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, and that's all there is to it. Like,
Yeah.
So.
I think it's going to be really exciting. My hope is that I think Dan's done such a great job, especially with the Yak, of like he's just brought together like KB and Nick and Stephen Che, and it's just Brandon Walker. Like it's weird, you know? And then there'll be you guys in the mix, and then the Pardon My Take guys are coming, and
yeah. And like, and I equate it to this with Dan. It's like Dan, we are like Dan's high school buddies.
Yeah, that's right.
And we've watched him like go to college.
Yeah,
And like we're sitting
big
there.
college guy.
Yeah, and like we're watching, I'm like, damn, dude, that looks sick. Like, look at that fucking college party he went to with all the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, we're like excited for him to move back.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And then you're like, and he's bringing all his friends. You're like a little bit intimidated, but also
Exactly.
excited. And then you're like, don't forget about us.
Exactly.
We knew you when.
That's kind of what it's
Yeah,
like.
I get that.
Uh-huh.
I get that. That's an anxious time.
Uh-huh. And it's like cool because with the Yak, like it's awesome what they've built, because they've had the opportunity to sit behind that glass, and they've had the opportunity to like just to pick off every funniest person who've walked through that door. I'm like, come join us. Come join.
Now they're
and
like, and come to Chicago, and they're all going to come.
yes, and they've just built a juggernaut.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
Cool. I agree.
It's fantastic. What would you say is like, what can you tell us something that people like don't see about your job? Because everyone thinks it's so like, here's your job, you know, but like, what is it? Because like, what Like, is it something like the pressure from Penn? Is it the pressure to turn revenue? What don't people see?
I think what people don't see is how hard it is to organize the chaos. Because Barstool's everybody cares about their one thing or their thing, right? They care about their thing. People here really don't care. They care about Barstool and they care about their thing. They really don't care about anything else in the middle.
Yeah.
And we are moving so fast that people don't really spend much time to even really recognize what there is in the middle. And I think that we haven't done a good job. People don't take the time and they don't do a good job communicating with one another. We're, as a company, I think, really, really bad at that. So I think the hard thing for me is, in my job anyways, is like, I think I have two jobs here. One is to grow our brands and make them as big as possible and have as many fans as possible and serve our fans. And the second is to have like a viable business around that. And those two things are really different, and with different customers and different types of people and different ways of working and different goals. And it's like, I'm trying to shove those two goals together constantly. So it's constant. That's hard.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll give you an example. Like I got the Out and About. Joey and Pat have a great podcast, fast growing podcast. Joey joining the pod was awesome, like a game changer. Have you spent any time with Joey?
I have, yes.
I like Joey.
Great.
Do you like Joey?
Joey's great.
Does he make you uncomfortable? Like,
no, not at all.
He's so funny.
Not
right?
at all. When Pat was planting seeds. He's like, hey, I'm trying to get Joey hired. Could you bring it up on the Dave Portnoy show? I was like, yeah, I think that's a great idea. I would love to.
I'll hook you up.
Let's get
Yeah.
So of course, I was all about it. Yeah.
So anyway, so next year, so Out and About, super fast growing. They've probably grown, I don't know, 100% or something. They've grown a lot. And next year, the ad revenue, I saw something yesterday, the ad revenue for Out and About is like $38,000. And I was like, that, those two things don't add up. So then I spend 3 weeks being like, all right, how do we get the salespeople and the producers and Out and About like to gel together? Because if the show is so fast growing, we should have more revenue associated with it. So it's shit like that. That's a lot of work.
That's very frustrating as a content person.
Yeah, it's annoying. Yeah, you're like, what the fuck?
Because like that's what, as you know, when you negotiate a deal, it's like you guys look at what's brought in, but at the end of the day, like you should look at listenership.
Right.
Right.
Your job is to bring listeners.
Yeah.
Your job is to bring listeners.
It's not our point to
or
sell.
Viewers or whatever.
Exactly. You know, like we're not.
But at the same time, we have 85 brands, and all 85 of you brands are like, me. I don't care about anyone else. I want my show. I want my revenue. And our salespeople are like, their heads are in a pretzel because they're like, shit, I got to sell all this. So we need to do a better job of like, hey, if your show's below this, you're only getting this amount of resource. You know what I mean? Like that would be helpful. Yes.
And then I did like, okay, let me say the reverse for the third floor, what they probably shit on the content floor for, because I said, you know.
Yeah. You're like, what could they do better? You didn't shit on them. You gave a perception. I really don't think you did.
Okay. That was just a perception.
You're like, Midwest nice. I got you.
You have people, definitely content people, who make their job a lot harder when we're fucking up ad reads. Like
Definitely,
you send something,
which is mad. Yep.
Which is bullshit.
Yeah,
you know?
that sucks.
Yes, where it's simple. Like I time it out every time I read one.
Make the ad 60 seconds.
Yes,
not hard.
60 seconds. That's why people watch these videos all the time. You'll always see me on my phone. I always time it out. You're like
60 seconds.
And I don't think I've ever had a problem.
You never have, actually. I can tell you that.
No, really? See?
BetterHelp, though, we've been like screwing the pooch on BetterHelp.
BetterHelp, I would love to be waving the flag for you
guys.
There you go. So yeah, it's exactly, or just saying like reading stuff not in the copy, or
people can be careless. I think people can get careless. It's like it's so casual here sometimes, and so fun, and like sometimes I think people forget it's a business. Yeah. And then also sometimes I think we forget this is a content factory. You know what I mean? It's a fun factory. So it's like we got to remember both of those things.
Yeah. Hey, let's take a quick break here because I want to talk about Rollback Activewear. That's right, the best fit, the best feel only at Rhoback. All right. Now that it's holiday season, there isn't a better gift than Rhoback. It's no secret Rhoback will be my go-to gift this holiday season. And it should be yours too. Their newly released performance joggers are incredible. They're functional, they're versatile, and they're comfortable. They honestly, truly are. And they look good. That's like a huge part of this. Like a lot of joggers kind of, maybe they're a little too baggy, maybe they're a little too tight. Rhoback has that secret sauce where they're perfect. Okay. So Rhoback also has their performance hoodies. I'm wearing one right now. You see that beautiful dog right there. Good color schemes too. It got the sea green ropes here, or what's it say? What are the adjusters? I don't know what's the proper terminology. You know what I mean? Whatever it's called. And they're the most comfortable hoodies out there. Nothing beats putting on a Rhoback hoodie after waking up on a cold day in the Windy City. So use code DOG on Rhoback.com for 20% off all new customers. That's right. That's 20% off for all new customers. That's spelled RHOBACK.com. That's 20% off polos. I got the polo right here as well. You see this? That's nice too. A nice Rhoback dog. And yeah, all Q-zips, hoodies, and joggers with code DOG. The best part is they'll be releasing new gear throughout the holiday season, and you're not going to want to miss out. So get your holiday shopping done early and make sure to check them out at Rhoback.com. One more time. RHOBC, excuse me. Listen closely. My apologies. RHOBACK.com, code DOG, 20% off. Thank you, Rhoback. All right, let's hop back into the show. Is there anything you could tell us that was close that never happened?
Oh my God, so many things.
That you were
close but never happened.
Particularly excited about. I always like a lost role thing, like like Will Smith. You know, he was almost the Matrix. He was almost Neo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was almost Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves much better though, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's interesting.
Oh, I mean, there were so many. Like, I don't even know where to start. I mean, so many TV shows that we thought we would. I mean, The Rundown was almost a nationally syndicated TV show. We were super close on that.
Really? On Comedy Central?
No, across Fox stations.
Oh,
we were so close. We had comedy. We had the Rundown across all of Oprah. So taking a step back. So the Oprah Winfrey Show, Chicago. What's up?
Yeah.
Oprah did an amazing deal when she did her show, the way she sold it and packaged it, which is she basically sold it to all sorts of ABC affiliates. So it ran on local stations. So she got paid a gazillion times versus having the show on Comedy Central at 1 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to do the same thing. And I was like, oh, I could get The Rundown as a daily show and it would be across all these Fox stations. It would be so great, blah, blah, blah. Sony was helping us do it. And then I don't know, ESPN canceled us, I guess. ESPN canceled us, and then everything just fell.
That was it? Everything rolled down the hill at the Van Talk?
Everything rolled down the hill. Yep.
That's crazy.
Crazy, I know.
And do you have any look back on that after the thought? Because we've heard Dave's perspective so many times about
it's like it was the best thing that could have ever happened to us.
Yeah.
This company, A, would not have been sold, and B, would have been a quarter of its size, I think.
You think so?
Because we would have then we would have been like a production company making a show for ESPN, and then we would probably do the Rundown show for Fox. It would have watered down who we are.
Yeah.
Like, I did love Van Talk. I thought it was so weird and special. But I like Dan and PFT better on Pardon My Take. You know, like they're less stiff in a way, or just like forced. And they weren't forced because they wanted to be forced. It was because like there was a lot to worry about. It was like when we did the Rundown on Comedy Central. Like, remember Hank at the Clock? Did you remember that? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hank at the Clock, because we couldn't get the timing right of the show. But it was like, it just was a little bit like forced. It was like, you know, when you have like a relative over and you're like yelling, you're like a titch louder in your volume and you're like, why am I yelling? That's how I feel about television.
Yeah, you're not as comfortable.
Yeah, you're not as comfortable.
Yeah, you're just not as comfortable. As far as the initial acquisition by Penn, was there any hesitation by you? Were you like, hey, I signed up to run a comedy brand? Like, I know.
No.
I
was psyched about Penn. I mean, we were talking to a lot of people.
Yeah. And not about Penn particularly.
No.
I'm just saying about gambling in general.
No, I think that it was like, you know, I think the Chernin guys originally were like, ooh, ESPN is going to buy Barstool Sports, or, you know, a major media company is going to buy Barstool Sports. And, you know, 6 months into it, Dave and I were like, I don't think that's going to happen. And then we tried really hard. We spent a year pursuing that path. We launched Barstool Gold because media companies wanted subscription products. So we were doing all this shit to like make us look good for a media company, which just didn't feel right. We were doing stuff that it was great. We learned a lot doing it. I think we did good work, but it wasn't us. Like putting our people behind a paywall just made no sense. It didn't feel good. It didn't feel right. So when PASPA was repealed and the gaming companies came along, it was like game on. It's a sin-based business. So like the morality of the issues of Barstool Sports weren't an issue. 2, they all need audience. And 3 is like, look, you can get so much farther by being funny and being a comedy brand and an entertainment brand versus, like a sports betting brand.
Yeah.
And we would never we don't have the discipline to become that even if we wanted to.
Yeah. But as far as like what Chernin and those guys do, what's that? I know there was that article I talked about on the show with Dave once. There's a SPAC you're in with them.
They had created a SPAC that actually never launched. So it was a hot little craze for a minute, never happened.
Okay, so that's not a thing anymore. Because I feel like that's like what they do is fascinating.
Oh, they're super smart. Super smart.
Yeah,
they are so smart.
Yeah, I went to dinner with Kearns one time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
did you like it?
I went to Vegas with them one time. Yeah.
No way. Kearns loves Vegas.
Yeah, it was a great time. It was right after they sold Action.
He's fun. Yeah.
And like just hearing the way their business and what they do with Crunchyroll.
They're so cool. Like what they look at and how they look at it and the businesses that they're in. Like, I loved working with them. I would love to keep working with them. Like they are very, very, very smart.
Yeah.
It's so diverse. It's like what they do every day is so interesting.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And I don't know. I just feel like that. I don't know. Like I could see you doing that whole type of thing.
That's fun. I love that life.
Yeah. No, for sure. Is there a particular stat about Barstool that you love? Like, what's your
what's my like go-to?
What's your go-to stat? We're like, hey,
it's that
motherfucker.
Last month we made 16,000 pieces of content, original content.
Okay.
That we distributed across 1,700 social accounts. That's a lot.
That's a shit ton.
I was meeting with this reporter the other day, and she comes in and. It's a big publication, very well-known financial publication. And she's like, oh, what about Dave Portnoy? I was like, hey, what do you know about Barstool Sports? And she's like, oh, Dave Portnoy. And then I was like, actually, we have like a fucking killer business. Let me like walk you through it. And I dropped that stat. I was like, just to give you a sense of what we're doing is like, this is what we're doing. And she still was like, what about Dave Portnoy? And I was like, forget it.
And that was
not my
it.
People.
How often is that the reaction?
I think people are fairly ignorant about Barstool, like what makes us special, how we do things. We're really like the last of the Mohicans. Like there are no publishers left. Like there just aren't. Like there's just no one left. And it's kind of head scratching of like, how did this little upstart from Boston with a bunch of bloggers, like how did they get to this? Like, how did we get here? What is it we do? How do we stay so current? How do we stay so relevant? I think most people, Eddie, are just super ignorant and actually they don't care to know.
Yeah.
It's much easier to get caught in like the salacious headline of what everybody thinks about who Barstool is or who Dave is, or, that's much easier and more convenient to a narrative versus actually saying media is so challenged right now. This company is doing something really right. You may not like our content. You may not listen to Dog Walk. You may not, you may not enjoy it. It may not be for you, but at least intellectually understand what we're doing, because I think it is so radical.
Yeah. Like it's so diverse.
It's insane. Like
so
the stuff that comes out of this place is amazing.
There's a lot. There's a lot. What's the and I always ask this to people, what's the biggest all out knuckle dragging fight you've been in with Dave? What's your
Dave and I don't fight.
There's gotta be. What's your biggest disagreement, Erika? Disagreement.
Really have very rarely had one.
Nothing.
We're just not like that.
Well, and honestly, you say that, I do believe you.
We're just not like that.
I do believe you, because I see when you guys are like kind of in business mode.
Yeah.
And it's
like this idea, that idea, this idea. What about this? What about that?
Yeah. And you guys are very much on the same page.
I love working with Dave. I think Dave is awesome.
And you're like, what's cool is you're like, you guys have the bat phone for one another. Like, you know, it's very hard to get a hold of him. Like he lets so many calls, like just fucking just drop. Yeah. Like he don't answer shit.
Yep.
And whenever it's you, like you.
We have a good bat phone. I always answer every text he sends, every call.
Yes.
Obviously that I answer his, but I think I don't waste his time. Like I really try not to waste his time. Although I had to call him this morning about the office thing, and I was like, I'm sorry to bug you, but there's a bunch of things we should be talking about. But sorry. No, I really respect Dave. I miss Dave. I'll be honest. Like if you're in the like, what do you like less about your job right now? Like, I like working in the same room as Dave Portnoy a lot. And I do think we have a good bat phone and we have a good relationship. And I also think we were both super committed to the same thing and went through and gave up a lot for it. You know?
Yeah. Is there any chance you move down there and you start a new base?
Miami?
Yeah.
I don't know if I love wool sweaters. I don't think I could live.
You don't think so?
I love wool.
You don't think so?
But I would love to work with Dave forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would definitely do other businesses with Dave.
Are you like your contract and everything?
I think we have the same contract. Or maybe mine's a little bit longer. I don't remember. But we're in this thing. We're going to see this thing through for sure.
You're going to see it through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Well, cool.
What's going on with you, Eddie?
Nothing.
Yeah? How's life?
That's good.
What's up with your teams? I feel like they're not here. They're neither here nor there.
We're the Chicago sports teams.
I mean, yeah.
We're hurting. We're hurting. It's a rough time. But the Bears, like I see the vision right now with the Bears.
Okay, you see it?
I see the vision.
Okay.
I think we gotta go, or at least I'm choosing to believe in this guy's vision. So we're trying.
That's great.
We're trying.
And did you get a new car? Same car?
I got a new car.
Oh, you did?
What kind of car did you get? I got a Tesla.
Shut up.
I got a Tesla, yeah.
You did?
Yeah, you'll have to check it out because you've been in my old shitty car.
I didn't. It was the cleanest car I've ever been. It was very clean.
But it was like shitty, though. It was like a
Toyota?
No, it was a 2000 and...
It was white?
Yeah, it was
with beige seats?
Yes, beige seats.
Are you sure it wasn't a Toyota? Honda?
It was a Mercury Mariner.
Mercury.
Yes.
You have a Tesla?
So yes,
Do you feel like this is on brand or off brand?
It's very, very off brand.
What color? Maroon?
White.
Oh,
we stuck
Jesus.
with
Eddie, are you like
a
white. Westchester housewife?
I'm ahead of the curve. I saw the rising gas prices coming.
Okay, so you're smart. You're smart about that.
I just read the trends, Erika.
You read the trends.
I knew it was coming. I'm in the news.
Did you enjoy the buying experience?
It was weird.
It's weird, right?
I tried everything because I never bought anything in my life.
Okay.
Like it was the first thing I ever bought.
Are you a saver?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at saving.
Okay.
And I like, you know, and like
Do you have an investment account?
Kind of, sort of. What do you mean by that exactly?
Like, do you have a brokerage? Do you have like a Schwab account or a Fidelity account? Like,
yeah.
Where's your money? Under your mattress or in a savings account?
It's in a
bonds.
Like a little
safe box.
Little lockbox. Yeah, a little lockbox
You're carrying cash in a lockbox.
Yes, and half in there, half in a UBS account.
Okay.
Is that good?
I mean, your money in your lockbox isn't making you any money.
I know, but at the same time,
it's good to have money in your lockbox if shit goes wrong. Like,
yeah, I feel like
the world is a crazy place right now.
Yeah, if I want to buy a house, like I'll just like boom, here's the little lockbox.
You'll go into the lockbox.
Yeah, it's like boom, here's the cash.
But Eddie, if you put like $100 to buy your house, it could be like
more.
$1 million.
I know. I'm like.
You're conservative.
Yeah, it's like a weird.
Okay, so you go to buy this Tesla and you bring your lockbox.
Yes, so it's
to the mall.
Yes, exactly. So I'm like, yes, it's like a weird. It's a weird thing. I acknowledge that. So yes, so it's like the first thing I ever bought, and I only bought it because
It's crazy buying a new car, isn't it?
It's so strange.
I've only had one new car in my life.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like that's like literally the only thing I ever bought, and I was so against it because I was like, it's such like I don't need it. You know what I mean? I was like, and like I'm not. And I still think about.
You're not
like,
bougie. You don't.
Yeah,
care.
I'm not bougie. I don't give a shit. I was like, I really don't need this.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's whatever. But
does it make you happy?
I mean, it's nice not having to worry about not having heat. That car didn't have like heat at sometimes.
Oh,
like,
the other one.
The other one, yeah. It's nice not having to worry about that.
It's nice not having a shitty car that you're like, I don't know if this thing is going to run.
Exactly. So that's nice.
Okay, I agree with that.
That's very nice. So I'm happy about that. But it's like, sometimes I'm like, it's kind of goofy to buy a car like that. You know what I mean?
But you're allowed like one ridiculous purchase.
Yeah.
Like, what do you spend money on, Eddie?
Not much, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Not much.
Do you decorate your apartment?
Not really.
Okay, but if you had a girl come over, would you be embarrassed by how it looks, or are you like, you have a scene set?
Yeah, I wouldn't be. No, I'm not particularly happy with how it looks.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I need some decorating for sure.
Okay, fine.
For sure.
Okay.
But like,
do you spend money going out and buying beers?
Yeah, like that. Like I like to go to
sporting events.
Sporting
Probably
events.
Get those for free.
Yeah, I like nice dinners.
Okay.
You know, like stuff like that. But yeah, I don't mind spending money. It's not like I'm definitely not like cheap.
No,
that's not the case.
But you're like, what would I spend it on? You're like, I don't know why I would spend money.
Yeah, and like with this job, like I I'll buy more clothes here and there now because like whatever.
Really?
Well, like when I have to do stuff, like
what are you buying?
I don't know. Like I had to go
like a dress shirt.
Well, like if I had to go to NASCAR in Miami, it's like, all right, well, I might have to buy a couple like little
Hawaiian shirts.
Yes, like
Really? What are you gonna wear tonight?
I think I'm just gonna go with this.
You should.
This kind of brand.
Do you like being famous?
I'm not famous.
But you walk down the street here, people recognize you.
Yeah, sure. But it took some getting used to.
I think it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah. You don't like it?
Nope.
No. What's your
Because you're always like, I was in Charleston, South Carolina, walking down the street, and then I got some DM like, I just saw you walking down the street, and I was like, I probably had like food in my teeth, my sweatpants and dirty sweatshirt, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Obviously, like that's
and obviously like I'm not anything compared to you guys, but
no, but
you either like it or you don't.
Yes, you like it or you don't. Some people really like it.
Dave likes it.
Do you think so?
Well,
to a degree, he does.
It's also Dave is so big that it's gotten like.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's not normal
it's
at
crazy.
this point. Like, I think Dave liked it when it was manageable. And he'd be like, Dave Walks to Work, one of my favorite shows ever. I loved Dave Walks to Work.
Yeah, that was funny.
He walked to work one day in the military coat. Did you ever see that, that episode?
Yes.
Dave Walks to Work, which was he created out of spite because of Nate.
Yeah.
Because he wanted more viewers than Nate at night.
Yeah.
But at that time, Dave was like manageable famous. Now it's like
it's crazy.
Barricade ropes up.
Yeah, I like walking through like the Greektown casino and the floor, and they had people with Patriots helmets like having him sign.
Yeah, it's
like,
crazy.
Oh my God, he can't move.
Yeah,
like he just can't move. But no, you're right. Like it's like going to like the other day, like I was
like if you go to a Cubs game.
Yeah,
you're mobbed.
Yeah, like there's a lot of people there for sure. But it's a good thing. Like if you, Barstool, it's all about your listener. It's all about
100%. When like people come up and they're like, "Can I have a picture?" You have to be like, "Absolutely."
For sure. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I hate when people are dicks to their fans.
Oh
it drives me nuts.
Me too.
That's not cool.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that's what's great about us is I think we're like average people.
Yeah. No. Yeah. For sure.
Like I was like in the back of the plane today, and I was like, "Hey, what's up?"
Hey, what's up? No problem.
What's up? How we doing? Just going to work.
Yeah.
Okay, Eddie.
Yeah.
Are you happy here?
Yeah. No, it's good.
What do you not like about Barstool?
It's a good question.
Like, what just grinds your gears as you're like...
There's nothing really off the top of my head that's like... I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, like... There's stuff that grinds your gears, but I think there's shit that grinds your gears at every job, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the problem. Like I talked to someone who would be considered at one of our main competitors.
Okay.
And he I can't say who. I'll tell you off the air.
Oh.
And when he said this, he was like, "Yeah, man, like the thing about it is like everyone here is like a bunch of pussies and like everyone knows it. Nobody says what they feel. And like, it's just kind of miserable."
At the competitor place.
Yeah. At the competitor. And
it's not like that here.
And I'm like, wow. I was like, as much as miserable, not as miserable, as bad as things can be here at points, like it ain't like that. You know,
it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. No,
totally.
No.
Yeah. When people complain here, I'm like, it could be worse.
Exactly.
It could be worse.
Mm-hmm. It could be worse.
And you seem like you're fairly easygoing overall. Like, do you ever get mad?
Yeah, I mean,
do you have a temper? I mean, I don't know how you have a temper here with Carl, because Carl will be like bombastic, and the rest of you just seem happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, I could get frustrated, you know.
Do you yell?
No, I don't. I rarely yell.
Okay.
I rarely yell. I don't.
Is that true?
I don't.
Harry?
What do you think, Harry? Have I ever yelled at you? And
he won't yell. He'll just yell to talk over Dave, White Sox Dave, because he's.
I'll yell at White Sox Dave in an argument about like hot dogs or something.
Okay. That's fine. Mm-hmm. That doesn't count. Mm-hmm. How would you describe the four guys here?
I love working with them. There's dynamic. I mean, they have an opinionated job. They're bloggers. They're personalities, so they're gonna butt heads, but.
That's kind of a non-answer, Harry.
Well, in the end, butting heads is content for us. So.
Who's your favorite?
I can't choose a favorite, but
Eddie, obviously.
Eddie or Chief. I've known Chief for a while.
Oh, Chief's, yep. Chief's.
I guess the most frustrating part is like people thinking that they know everything about the job and like what we're doing. You know, like it's awesome. I love the fan. Maybe like the fan base and whatnot. Like it's great. Like I appreciate our fans. Like we said, like I love seeing them on about. But there is like a little sector of the fans that like they think they know. Like
they're like, I can do your job better than you.
Exactly, and they think that like like I've been doing this for like I'm coming up on year 5. Like I built this show from the ground up. This is the only show that it started as daily without a theme. Mm-hmm. Which I'm super proud of.
Yeah.
Because it's like every other theme is like college football or pop culture or, NFL or whatever. This is one of the only shows.
You're like, listen to this when you walk your dog.
Yeah. And it's like, and I built it to be like, hey, draft here, boom, tinfoil, boom. Now we got this, boom. Now we got true crime. Now we got interview with a blue collar worker. And it's like, oh, well, you need to do this. And it's like, hey guys, I got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's my show.
Exactly. Like I just show. Like, it's just like there is thought behind this stuff. Like I care a lot about this. So like just like sometimes there is like a thought of like, hey, there is.
Your show's doing very well though.
It is too. Yeah, like that's like. So I take a lot of pride in it.
Definitely.
For sure.
Are you talking about the Dave Portnoy stuff or no? The show stuff or no?
I haven't touched on it a ton, but
do you want to talk about it?
Sure, I'm down to.
How do you
feel? And also, I keep wiping my eyes. I have bad allergies. So.
Am I boring you?
No. I just have bad allergies.
Do you take a Claritin?
No, I have not.
Do you like Claritin? I love Claritin.
I just don't take it. I just rub my eyes consistently.
You should do a dog walk of like over-the-counter cold medication. That'd actually be a good one. Claritin is my favorite. I love Claritin.
Oh,
Benadryl, hate it.
Speaking of support, you texted me when it ended, which I really appreciated. So that was very nice of you. I
cared about you.
Yeah, that was nice. So like people said like, oh, you need more attaboys. Like that was nice.
I gave you an attaboy.
That was nice of you.
Okay, so what happened?
Honestly, I think he just was ready for a new theme or like he just wanted to do something different from what I understand. Mm-hmm. That's what he said. Cause he even reiterated, like he texted me later in the day too. He's like, hey, I just want to clarify. Like it was nothing you did or it was nothing like that. He's like, I just think like the format.
This show's not working for me.
Yeah, I just wanted to change it. Yeah. And the thing is like you saw the numbers and like you saw how much money he was making. Yeah. It was not a failed show.
Oh, it was a hugely successful show.
Yes.
Whoever told him that it doesn't make any money, I was like, I might murder that person.
It was like, we're talking like.
I'm busy reallocating money. Like.
Yeah. Yes. We're talking like mil.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, we're talking like millions. Yeah. Like,
Oh, yeah. The show is so successful. But it's also, it's like, when you're on somebody's show and it's in their name, it's kind of like you with Dog Walk. Like if you had somebody co-hosting this and you're like, but this is my show, it doesn't feel right to me anymore.
For sure.
Like that's, I think, a totally.
For sure.
Great. That's a good thing.
For sure. No. And if that's the thing where it's like, if he wants to like, hey, like, and like, he's so like big in that world now where he's, with Josh Richards and like the YouTube world and stuff, and like maybe he just wants to do a show with someone like that, and like I get that.
I think maybe he just wants to do a show by himself.
Yeah,
I think that people really just want to hear Dave rant, or like a call-in show. I think stupid people calling Dave or great, funny, weirdo people calling Dave is. I loved that
for sure. Serious. I get that, and like maybe he's just not like at some point, like maybe he's just not into like the Inside Barstool stuff anymore,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And like I know
I
that
bet
might,
he's wishing at a show today.
yeah, right. And I know that might be hard for like Barstool fans to hear,
Yeah.
you know, but like at some point, like I
Yeah.
guess like it just is what it is,
Yeah.
you know?
I think that the nice thing about Barstool though is it just like flows. You know what I mean? Like if you worked at a regular place like CBS or Fox or ESPN or whatever, Bleacher, and it's like, ooh, you're off the show, then it's like, do you have a job? Or do you know what I mean? Like
Yes,
it's like
yes.
it creates insecurity.
Yes.
And here it's so like porous where it's like, all right, you're just gonna wander over here. You already have your show. You already have a full-time job. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So I like that about Barstool.
Yeah, but that's what was like one of the most annoying parts though. People were like acting
I'm
like
sure
I was
the noise
dead.
machine was.
Yeah, like, people were acting like I was dead. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like that was like when I got that was like an extra thing.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't like a nobody when I got
Yeah,
that. Like I got like I wasn't just plucked up, like I was doing this and I
Yeah.
had done a good job on this to get myself in that
Definitely.
position, you know? So that's why I was like, all right, like, you know, it sucks that
That's
it's
hard,
over.
the noise and the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
perception
yeah, yeah.
versus like, here's what really happened. The other thing is like, which I said to you, is like, you're in a long line of greats.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like Kevin had, you know, Dan,
Yeah.
like everyone has been through that show ringer. And I think that that's,
yeah, and the way
it's
I like
cool to see that people just change over time and the shows change over time.
Yeah, and the way I liken it too, it's like it's kind of like a head coach where after a couple of years, like a perfect example is like an NHL coach is John Tortorella. Like after a certain point, like your message just kind of gets tuned out with Dave.
Yeah.
And like I felt like a couple of years, like it's just like, you know, it happened with the Rig Show. Like
Yeah.
people were like, oh, like, you know, this is, you know, getting stale, like
I
whatever.
forgot about that. Remember
Yeah,
when
remember at
Riggs
the-
hosted
Yeah,
Barstool
and then
Radio?
then
Is
at
that
the
what
end,
he hosted?
Yeah, then at the end, people were getting mad at Riggs, and then when I started doing it,
Yeah.
I started doing Barstool Radio, and everyone's like, "Fuck yeah, Eddie's," and then like,
and by the end, they were sick of you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like that's just like
That's how it goes.
Exactly. That's just how it goes. And yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Like that's just kind of like the circle of life of
it is.
Barstool.
We should like play that music.
Yeah. So that's just how it goes. But yeah, no, I'm good. And like now it's just kind of it was a fun 2.5 to
Yeah, it's awesome.
14 months, and now it's just kind of see
I think getting the
what's next.
chance to be in Dave's orbit is like a gift. Like I feel sad for, not sad, but I feel Dave is such an instigator. He's so naturally funny and he's funny to be around. It's good. You are better for that experience.
For sure.
He like steel sharpens steel. You know what I mean? Like
For
he's
sure.
really good like that. And I think that, you know, who knows? You may be back on that show later. You may do something else. You may never do something again. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You know?
and I think people don't realize that too. Like, people in that office are afraid to say hi to him.
in New York?
Yeah, people are so intimidated
Like
by
at
him.
Talent?
Like, yeah,
Or
they're
third
like,
floor?
just wherever. They're just
Oh,
intimidated.
really?
Yeah,
He's
people are
just a person.
not in. Yeah, exactly. People are just intimidated by him. They're just like whatever. They're
I
just
mean,
like,
he is intimidating.
not
I'll
in like
give
a
you that,
bad way.
but-
Not in like they think he's an
No,
asshole.
but it's stupid because it's like, hey, if you have an idea, just say
Exactly.
it to the guy.
So me having the relationship where I would give it back to him, you know?
Yeah.
Like that was definitely rare.
Yeah,
It was on the
for
rare
sure.
side. Like there's not many people that would do
Yeah,
that.
probably Kevin.
Kevin for sure. Like obviously Dan and like,
Yeah.
you know, Whitney and whatnot. But
Yeah.
yeah. So
All right.
but yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thanks for having me, Eddie.
No, thank you. Feel bad.
Why? Because you're bored?
No, this was good. This was good.
Awesome. Does that work for you? I'm going to meet the outdoors guys now.
No, this was great. Thank you for doing it, Erika.
Oh, my God.
I appreciate it.
Wait, hold on.
You're good. See, this is what it's like also. Just always tied to the phone.
Tied to the phone. Tied to the phone.
All right, we could wrap it then.
Are we
Erika-
wrapping it? Sorry,
Yeah,
Eddie.
No, we're
I'm
wrapping
paying
then.
attention.
No,
Okay.
we're good. Thank you, Erika. Thank you, everybody, for listening. That's it for today. We'll catch you guys next time.